What's up guys, it's me Lori, and as you can see from the footage, I was at the Meadows music festival this weekend, so I saw Kanye perform and I also saw him run off the stage when he found out that Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint, like right when he was starting to perform Heartless. I'm not mad. At the time, we were like a little confused because they just said it was a family emergency and people were kind of skeptical whether that was really true or not. But by the time we got home, it was all over the news, and yeah, your wife getting robbed at gunpoint is a good reason to stop a show. I'm also not mad because he performed for something like 45 minutes before he ran off the stage, and it was a good show up until that point, so it was fine. And also Chance the Rapper came on before him and put on an amazing show, so I definitely got my money's worth. Anyway, the whole incident has put Kimye in the spotlight again, which means that there's yet another eruption of hatred against them on social media, which is so fucking exhausting. Look, I was out of the country for many of the years that Kim was like rising to fame, so I missed out on a lot of like the hype and all that stuff, and all I knew about her for a long time was just that she had the sex tape, that she had a reality show that was really popular, and that people really loved to hate on her. It wasn't until a few years ago that I was still out of the country and I like ran out of TV shows to watch and saw that Keeping Up with the Kardashians was on Hulu, so I started watching it, and it's pretty much what you'd expect. It's like a low-think reality show. And yes, members of that family did things that were eye-rolling, and they clearly lived a very uninformed and privileged life in a lot of ways. But something you might miss if you only read the hate comments about them all the time and never watched the show is the fact that they're just people, and they're people who actually work really hard and who care a lot about each other. And I'm not about to go through all of my revelations about the Kardashians because I know they're not for everybody, and I did write a blog post about it at some point, which if I can find it, I'll link it below. But I will say for this video that there are two main criticisms of the Kardashians, especially Kim, and I have to call bullshit on them both. The first is that Kim doesn't work, so she doesn't deserve her wealth or her fame. And I'm sorry, but that's just lazy, self-righteous thinking. For I think almost 10 years now, this family is a family that has put their entire lives out for the world to see, including some really unflattering moments. And they're always working, whether it's being filmed for the show or flying around to participate in whatever engagement they're booked in, to give interviews, to launch products, whatever. To say that it's not hard work for a person to have to wake up every single day and maintain their personal brand, to always keep up their appearances no matter where they go, to have every single little decision that they make in their life scrutinized by the entire world is just fucking delusional. And if I'm totally honest, I'm pretty sure Kim K works harder than I do. She just has a different skill set. I also just disagree with the idea that in order for a person to be considered a contributing member of society, they have to be working a 9-to-5 job or to be doing something serious, whatever that means. By that logic, anyone who's a professional novelist, a professional athlete, a comic, or an artist is basically wasting their life doing nothing. And I know, to that you might say, well, writers and athletes have skills, and Kim doesn't. Well, Kim is an entertainer, and she's a personality. If you really think that anyone can do what she does, with or without skills, aren't you truly just saying that you're stupid for not doing it yourself? I'm not saying that Kim Kardashian can't afford to use her platform to do something for the greater good. Everyone can do a little bit more of that. But I am asking, how many people do you know who are working every day to make the world a better place? Because if you're like most people, probably not many. So why is Kim Kardashian the object of all your hatred? Why is she held to a higher standard to politicians, to CEOs, to people who are actively working every single day to make the world a worse place? How about people who are blowing things up and killing civilians, and people who are trying to take over our country and deport our neighbors and our friends? All of these people exist, and they're all in the news every day, and yet Kim Kardashian is the one that you guys think is the scum of the earth. That makes total sense. What's worse though is that the other big criticism of Kim Kardashian is that she's only famous because of her sex tape and for sexualizing herself. First of all, Kim Kardashian was caught on tape having sex with her boyfriend. Newsflash, I'm pretty sure she's not the only one who does that. Not to mention, a lot of Kim's fans are probably too young to even remember that sex tape, but that's besides the point. People who shame women for objectifying themselves by being overly sexual are doing nothing more than objectifying those women. It's her body, she can do what she wants to do with it, not what you want her to do with it, and it's not on you to judge her. It's not her problem that that you live in a repressive society that teaches you that women need to be angelic or celibate in order to be worthy of respect. And I'll also say this, whatever you do think about Kim Kardashian and her admittedly bland personality, is that she's undergone a pretty awesome transformation. If you do watch the show, you'll see that in the early days, she was actually really uncomfortable with her own sexuality, and she tried really hard to move past being known as that chick who had a sex tape with Ray J. She would be like distressed when the sex tape came up in interviews and when people always wanted to bring her persona and her brand back to the sexual stuff and to like have her pose nude and everything. She was actually kind of prudish. But in like the many years since then, she has, I think, come to embrace her sexuality. She's posting nude selfies. She doesn't care what people think about her when she does it. She's flaunting it. She's profiting from it. She's way more famous than Ray J is. And it's kind of empowering to watch her overcome that repressive thinking. Do I think Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are model citizens whose lives we should all emulate? No. Do I think that it's necessary to place as much importance on Kim being robbed at gunpoint as we do on people who are dying of thirst and starvation and being killed in the streets or being bombed by terrorists, or the other just plain assholery that's going on everywhere around us? No. But look, if there's anyone in the world whose job it is to set an example for our children, it's not them. And if you think it is, your priorities are kind of fucked up. Set your own example for your kids. Just try not to fuck it up by teaching them things like it's okay to wish harm on a person just because you hate them for being more beautiful and more successful than you. One last thing. Some of you want to talk about how you're so tired and you hate seeing their names come up in headlines and your news feeds and whatever. And then you proceed to go and post about how much you hate them on Facebook and Twitter, further solidifying their fame by reinforcing the fact that they are a polarizing force in society. I really hope you realize that you are A, basically a simple-minded hypocrite despite how smart you think you are, and that B, you're putting more money in their pockets, so I guess the joke's on you. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments or hit me up on Twitter, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.